All right, so we're here to talk to Batman. Let's get into it. Instant reaction, instant score. I liked it a lot. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. And I was talking to my homie. He may be in the stream. Shouts out Richard if you in the stream, bro. But a 7.5 is still out of 10 is still a good score. Like, think about it as females. There's some guys that cannot get a girl that's a 7.5. You feel me? Like, a guy who has like a 5 will always want a 7.5 because she's a 7.5. She's better than the 5 that he has. So I'm just saying, still a good score. I don't think a 7 out of 5 is bad. But let's get into this. So what did I like? Let's get into what I liked about this film first. I love the tone of this film. I love when DC goes dark, man. And Batman, obviously, is a character they should go dark with. And I hear a lot of people say Superman is a character they shouldn't. I kind of agree. I'll say that. I kind of agree. It depends on that. Like for example, some people say Man of Steel is a dark film. That's not a dark film. But this movie was really dark. It really hit those gothic tones of Batman. And this is non-spoiler, by the way, too. I'm not going to be spoiling anything. So I'm probably going to do a spoiler review. I'll give it about a week. I know me and Shiz is going to do a spoiler review on the podcast, on the Extendo Clip podcast on the Filmmatic, my YouTube channel, the Filmmatic. I'll link that in the description, I guess. But yeah, so this is going to be a non-spoiler review. I'm not going to spoil anything. But the cinematography, freaking amazing, dude. Like, the cinema, I knew, like, seeing the trailers, I was like, this movie's gonna be amazing. Like, just from how it's shot and from that, from that standpoint, the cinematography was amazing. The color grading, perfect, magnificent. The acting, superb. I think Robert Pattinson is the best Batman we've had. So although I don't think this is the best Batman movie we have, I think I still put The Dark Knight there. I still felt that he gave the best performance as Batman. He truly understood the character. He played an amalgamation of the Year One, Batman Year One. So I would definitely, check out that animated film, Year One, and read the comic too from Frank Miller. It's an amazing comic. In many ways, it can read as like a prelude to The Dark Knight Returns, the earlier work he did. But definitely check out Batman Year One. I would definitely check out Batman Earth One as well. They pulled a lot from that comic book, and I think that comic book is slept on. Jeff Johns killed that thing, man. I love that whole Earth One run, amazing. But yeah, they pulled a lot from there, and they definitely pulled a lot from Long Halloween, definitely, and elements of Hush as well. But so it was an amalgamation of all those. But regardless, that being said, I liked it a lot. So those are the things I like. I like the acting. Like I said, what else did I like in this film? The action. I really like the action. It was a very, very reserved, but really detailed his character. In many ways, the action was closer to Ben Affleck's Batman than like Christian Bale's or Keaton's Batman. It was closer to the Ben Affleck's, which I like, because I always felt in Batman versus Superman with Ben Affleck's Batman, Zack Snyder did a good job of using the way he fights as a way to give more to his character. Like, it shows you more about this character, like the rage that's always bottled up inside of him, even when he's like the billionaire playboy. And I'm talking about Ben Affleck's Batman right now. When Ben Affleck was playing that billionaire playboy, you could tell, it just reeks of fakeness. Like, you can feel the rage just oozing out of him. And that was definitely something that they did with Pattinson's Batman as well. But that was his overall personality in this. Like I said, he played a very dope early Batman. I would also say Batman Zero Year as well, from Frank Capullo and Scott Snyder. I would check that out as well. Batman Zero Year, they pulled a lot from that as well. But this movie was really good. However, to get into the things that I didn't like, I thought the story could have been a little stronger. I think that's where it was really lacking, was the story. Some of the pacing was off. Like, I felt like there were some things you could have been like, all right, you could have cut that. You lingered on that a little bit too long. I want more of that. And I guess the more of that is like the subplot and the side characters. Like, you spend a lot of screen time with Batman, like literally. And I know that shouldn't be surprising, but usually in Batman films, when I've watched Batman films in the past, you've always had like, all right, even though Batman had most of the screen time, like, all right, now we're gonna go see what Jim Gordon's doing. That's gonna tie into what Batman's doing. Then they would do shit like that, like tell the story from the perspectives of like Batman and a couple other side characters. Like, they would show Alfred sometimes in like Nolan's Batman and, you know, what he was doing, not necessarily completely from his like completely his scenes, but like little short scenes like that. Not in this movie at all. You maybe spend like 5 minutes alone with the characters, but then even then they're like still in close communication with Bruce. So most of the screen time was solely focused on him, and he did a hell of a job. That was one thing that I never got bored with watching him. So that was a good thing. But my problem was when the story started progressing, I feel like we didn't get enough of the subplots and the side characters that really fleshed that story out and gave it that oomph that, you know, certain scenes towards the end gave you. You feel me? Now, I will say, although I like the performances, towards the end, Paul Dano kind of went over the top for me a little bit, and I love Paul Dano, man. You know, he's amazing. If you've never seen, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on the movie right now. Oh my God. What is that movie called? I'm going to feel so... There Will Be Blood. There Will Be Blood. If you've ever seen that movie, that's one of the best performances. One of the best performances in film history, and the only reason why I wouldn't say it's the best is because he's acting across from Daniel Day-Lewis, who's the best in the business ever. And I liked him, even though he played more of a reserved role. I liked him in Prisoners, Denis Villeneuve's Prisoners, and there's a couple other things I like Paul Dano in as well. But Paul Dano's a fantastic actor, but I just felt like couple scenes he overacted a little bit, but he was menacing as fuck when he was the Riddler, dude. Like, those scenes with him, like where he was playing like this Zodiac killer, that was another thing too. It really reminded me of like Robert Downey Jr.'s Zodiac. It reminded me of like Seven, this is a very detective noir, even in some regards Blade Runner as well. In many regards reminded me a lot of Blade Runner. But towards the end, I felt like Paul Dano got a little campy for me, but like I said previously to that, he was menacing. You know, whenever you'll see what I mean by that. He was menacing, but then towards the end for me, it got a little campy. But regardless, I thought the villain was still dope. You know, his whole mission. You get his mission. You really get his mission in this film, and it's very much in the vein of Joker. I will say that they borrow a lot of themes from that film as well. With like the desperation of Gotham, like the economic state of Gotham as well. Even some of the plot points from that film as well. That's why I kind of thought we were going to go into the theater and find out it was the same universe, but you'll find out if that happens or not. But I don't think that's a spoiler to say that it's not part of the Joker universe, because they already came out and said that. But I thought that was going to be the case because the story seemed so similar from what we saw in the trailers. But yeah, they definitely pulled a lot from, you know, different films. So like this felt like a David Fincher film. This felt like Matt Reeves doing like a David Fincher-esque type of film. But like I said, very, very heavy. Very, very heavy on the detective noir, emphasis on detective. This was like the most detective. If you love the detective side of Batman, you're going to love this movie, like I did. That's what I loved most, was the detective stuff, and that's why I'm not too mad about them telling the story specifically from his perspective, because that's how a lot of those detective films play. You usually don't spend a lot of time with other characters. It's usually the detective like reacting to what's happening to him. So when you get like a curveball in the film, you actually feel that because you've been with him the whole time. You haven't seen, you know, cutaway scenes where the bad guy's like setting shit up. You're like, oh, that's gonna be, it's like, no, he's getting hit with this like that, and you as the audience, because you've been following him around the whole time, are getting hit with that as well. And that was the aspect that I liked. Like Matt Reeves said this very much. I'm going to be focusing and honing in on the detective elements of Batman. And that's what I loved a lot about this film, man. What else is there to talk about with this film? It definitely is building a universe. I will say that. Yeah, like, you know, we already know, they confirmed this already. We're going to be getting that Penguin show. There's rumors talking about we're going to get a Catwoman show. Like, how the film leaves off, like, it leaves itself open to a very, very expansive, you know, contained Batman universe. Like, you don't need Superman in this universe. You don't need the Flash in this universe. I wouldn't mind seeing like different adjacent, like Vigilante. Keep it street level. I'll say that. Keep it to, if you're going to bring other heroes in that exist outside of the Batman mythos, keep it street level. Or if you're going to bring in like for example, like I would like to see Deathstroke in this universe. I feel like they can do a really cool take of Deathstroke in this universe. Like, don't necessarily make him like, you know, too OP like they do in like a lot of the other DC materials and everything like that. But I would love to see Deathstroke in this universe after seeing this film. I know Matt Reeves is talking about doing a Mr. Freeze possibly, who knows? But it leaves itself open to definitely explore Batman's rogues gallery. That's what I really liked about this. So when I heard about all these different shows coming out, I was like, are you putting the cart before the horse? They're not. This unit, like I said, this universe lends itself to this. Why they could tell so many stories with this, and I cannot wait to see what they do. Now, I want to say this too. Robin could fit in this universe. So I know one of the things Chris Nolan said, you know, that one of the reasons why he never brought Robin in is because his films were, you know, he wanted his films to be super grounded, much like Matt Reeves has said about his Batman as well. But I think the problem that Nolan didn't realize was that Robin isn't far-fetched. Now, sure, if you're using like the traditional comic book version, then yeah, sure. But you're adapting the source material. Just do what they did in the 90s. You know, you just do it better, but do what they did in the old, I think, what was his name? The guy that made the horrible Batman and Robin and all that. Hold up. I think his name's like Schumacher or something. Joel Shoemaker, I think. Yeah, Joel Shoemaker, or Macher, however you say it. But he aged up Robin. Just do the same fucking thing. Like, and this universe lends itself to Robin, definitely. And I can see them doing a future Red Robin film that would be fucking awesome, man, especially in this universe. They do Red Robin. If you've never read the Red Robin comic books, I recommend doing that. They're so fucking dope, man. They're so fucking dope. They're like in the vein of like a what is it? What's his name? It's in the vein of like a Red Hood a little bit. But yeah, definitely lends itself to it, man. I like this film a lot. Like I said, it's just the story elements. I felt like they didn't give me enough of the subplots, and they didn't give me enough of the side characters. But I get why they made that choice, but I still feel like it dragged the film down, especially when they did certain things at the end. I was like, if you gave me more of that, I can get why that happened. It was one of those. So, but like I said, I like this film a lot. When I see it again, I'm trying to get into the theaters to see it again soon. I may raise my score, but a 7.5 is where I'm at right now. That's where I feel comfortable putting it. I don't like coming out of films with like 10 out of 10. The only film in recent memory I can think of that I came out of saying like a 9, I think was Endgame. And I think I gave that an 8.5 starting out. Then I eventually took my score to a 9. But I still think Endgame is better than Infinity War, personally. But man, this film was amazing, dude. Pattinson killed it. He proved everybody wrong, like we kind of already knew he did. By the time we saw like the first and second trailers, we were like, all right, yeah, a lot of niggas was wrong. When they first casted him, I was one of the people, I was like, yo, he's going to kill this. The only people that don't know are the simpletons, people that only watch comic book films. Either you have your just casual fans that go see the blockbusters when they come out, so they only know him from Twilight, or you have like the super comic book people that only watch comic book films that don't know. You feel me? Like, this guy, he's one of the best actors on the planet. Yo, get Twilight out of your mind. He's done so much since. He's done so many indie projects. Rover is one that comes to mind all the time because I thought that movie was awesome sauce. But yeah, man, Pattinson killed this. I cannot wait to see him in the role again. Man, this movie, that's why I can't. I'm trying to watch my words because I'm a little drunk right now too. So I'm not gonna let no spoilers fly, y'all. But I got y'all. I'm not gonna let no spoilers fly. But I cannot wait till me and Shiz talk about the spoiler review with this, man. Because I really want to pick his brain because I know Batman is his favorite character. He was really excited for this film, so I really want to get his perspective and take on it. But what matters most, guys, because this is posted on the Filmmatic, so I'm kind of going to do whatever. But what matters most is, what did you guys think? So hop in the comment section down below, like, subscribe, and share, all that. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Peace. Easy.